Well, a very warm welcome to everyone. Hi, this is Raju Srivastav, and I'm so happy to meet you today over the coffee. And it's been after a long time that I've been seeing a couple of people, and I think a couple of people have been in touch with me regularly. So great to see you and connect back. Today, I'm here with the agenda, and I really wanted to ensure that I'm able to act as a catalyst and able to actually help you build up this business faster and quicker. Now the times has changed, and there are instances when there's a COVID, and there are instances when COVID is over and we have the normal days. So, and people are now frustrated being at home, and they're looking forward for something, something happening for their kids as well as for themselves. So there's a lot of traveling and the stuff like that is happening. So I thought it's very important that during this point of time, you should have some live workshops also to be conducted for the kids. So any which ways, today I'm here to introduce you to a very interesting topic that is called the DMIT, because there has been a lot of inquiries which has been coming to me, and a lot of people have been confused and has been asking me also like what is DMIT and how it is different from psychometric test software, right? I would like to also help you understand that by adding DMIT, how is that you can really change the complete game of yours. So this is the agenda. And in fact, let me help you to take you back when I started my journey almost about 8 years back, when DMIT is almost as good as new in the country. So I was a part of it, and I was a part of a founding team, and during that point of time, DMIT was a very new concept, and I really worked and spent a lot of time on that, and it was quite a deeper insight that I was able to get on that, right? So that is the way it started. Like Midbrain and DMIT were the two products that I built up my complete business on. So that is the way it really happened. And I personally, since I've done so many counselings, it's more than 1,000+ counseling that I did. So therefore, I have seen that personally, I'm very confident about the product itself. What I really want to help you understand is that how is that adding up DMIT into your kitty can help you change the complete orbit. So this is the scenario, and this is the thing that I really wanted to do it. At that point of time when I used to do it, like eventually what happened is like I saw that there are a couple of people who were doing DMITs, and there were a couple of people who were doing psychometric as well. So it was very important for me to create some differentiating factor, place me differently from the rest of the people, and that's what exactly I experimented upon and I worked upon. And then later on I was able to crack something which was really interesting. And all these days I generally didn't share that with anybody, and I really did it pretty well. And I used to charge about 8,000 rupees for a counseling, for one counseling, 8,000 rupees. And I used to make it sure that I do two counselings every day. So this is what I could achieve, and I could really continue to keep on doing it. So it was like a 16,000 rupees I was making out of this product, right? I had another product, but then this was major thing. I used to do everything together. So today what I would like to do is I would like to, share my formula or share my secret, or what is that I used to do it, right? When the people in the industry who were not even able to charge, let's say 4,000 rupees, and they were a little shy in even charging, and they were not very comfortable charging 4,000 rupees from the customer, how is that I could charge 8,000 rupees in the given scenario and still I was in demand is something that I would like to share with you today, right? So if that sounds exciting to you, just say exciting, okay? So what are we here for? We are here for a DMIT business webinar, dermatographic multiple intelligence test. Learn how DMIT can help you change the orbit is what we're going to be talking today. Learn how you can create a monopoly and charge premium from the customer. And today I'm here to actually give you a lifetime deal for DMIT. If you like it, you can take it, right? So these are the three agendas that we have it today. Now, the things that comes to your mind is, am I here to upsell you the DMIT package? And the honest answer is yes. I'm here to sell you a great, interesting package which can actually help you earn a lot of money, right? So with the open mind, I really want you to understand the kind of a value my products can really add into your business, right? So let's start. but by sharing my ultimate secret of how I used to charge rupees 8,000 per counseling. If you really want to know that, I want you to comment TMS, tell me the secret. So if you just write onto the comment window, that would encourage me to reveal the secret that I've been using for such a long time. So let's understand this with an example. So I would like to understand what is the consultation fee of a general physician. Generally, the general physician charge how much? 500 rupees. So what's the consultation fee of a specialist? If you go to the heart specialist, what is that he's going to charge? Generally, it's 3 times, right? It's 1,500 or so. Maybe the ones who are very popular doctors, the ones who are really a very, very good physician, they may even charge, for that matter, 2,500 rupees or 3,000 rupees. I mean, there's no limits to it. So the idea is that the specialist always charges a better amount. The specialists always command more money and can charge more, So ultimately, at the end of it, what's important is to become a specialist, isn't it? Today, I would like to share a very interesting strategy with you that's called the red ocean and a blue ocean strategy. I don't know how many people have heard about this strategy, but this is something where people have been doing trainings and charging lakhs of rupees just to be talking about what is red ocean and what is blue ocean. So let me in this webinar try to give you and introduce you a quick one in this. So when we say the red ocean is something where for the same product, there are a lot of players into the market and they are playing a price war. The product may have a marginal difference, but by and large, all the products are similar or same. For example, today, if you really talk about the masks, so there are some premium masks, but majority of them fall into the range of 70 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees with minor differences, some change in design, some change in clothing or whatever. So what happens is when you get into these kind of a market, so ultimately at the end of it, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of price war which starts happening, and that becomes a red ocean. So, however, when we talk about a blue ocean, that has got a monopoly where you are a king and like you can command your price. Nobody can beat you. There's no competition. There's nobody in that particular space. That's called blue ocean. So, the strategies that's being discussed normally is that if you have any product, any range of products, anything for that matter, how do you position it differently and how do you create a uniqueness into the product so that you come out of the red ocean and come into the blue ocean and charge the premium prices so that you become profitable? And there's so many companies who have understood this and they have come out of red ocean and they've come to the blue ocean by understanding and applying the things, right? So this is what exactly the red ocean and the blue ocean strategy is. Now, if there are thousands of career counselors and thousands of DMIT counselors, if you really want to come out of this model and want to create something called the hybrid model, you want to get into the blue ocean, the best thing that I can suggest is you start giving a counseling, a hybrid counseling. When I say hybrid counseling, just think of it. The psychometric test and the DMIT. People are doing it separately, but both the things together, nobody's doing it. So if you do psychometric plus DMIT, you combine the products and get the best things out of both the things. There are thousands of people who are doing a career counseling. There are thousands of people who are doing a DMITs. There's a acceptance of price in the market, right? Even if there's not much competition, but there's an acceptance of price, right? So if you say, fine, I'm doing DMIT, you're also DMIT, I'm doing psychometric test, you're also doing psychometric test, what is the difference? To create a position for yourself, how's that I can become different and how's that I can position myself differently. So while I used to do a counseling for a psychometric and I used to do a counseling for a DMIT, I realized both the things has got something which is very interesting. And if at all, I could really make one single report out of it by doing both the tests for the same person, it can really be a meaningful report that I can develop for a person. It's going to consume a lot of time for me, but then that's going to be very, very value addition proposition for the child for whom I'm doing it. So I thought, let me try. I did it initially for 5 people as an experiment, and trust me, the kind of a results that was there. One report used to take me about almost about 2 hours for me to analyze that initially. And while I, till the time I became comfortable and that became very natural for me to, understand what is I have to pick up from DMIT and what is that I have to pick up from the psychometric. But a hybrid report, that I used to create, and like that was so well accepted by the parents. And that is something that clicked. And when it started working, and I then gradually started charging a premium. Initially, I used to give them for a very normal price, but then I realized that it has got a power. It's something that I've hit, which is a unique thing, which nobody else is doing for that matter. I said, why is that if nobody else is doing it, if I am doing it, and I used to sell the concept, while I used to sell the concept, when I used to get in a DMIT inquiry, I used to call upon them. I used to say, see, I've got 2 models. If you just want to get the DMIT done, I can do the DMIT for you also. But then I would suggest, just by charging another 2,000 rupees more, it's a once in a lifetime thing for you. Why don't you get a unique customized report for your child, where I would do psychometric, I would do DMIT, I'll merge the things, and I'll actually evaluate that manually and give you a report which is a very unique combination of both the things, and which will give you the results which would really make a lot of sense for you. And this selling pitch really caught up, and people were really getting, gradually they started getting onto that, and they realized that, yeah, this sounds something interesting. And what happens is, when you place a price of something higher, automatically the image starts building up in your mind, this is premium. So people who can really afford it, they don't really mind paying it. They're ready to pay you 2,000 also for a product, and they're ready to pay you 10,000 also for the product. The only thing that is to be done is to get convinced about the whole thing, right? So this is what exactly it is. So I started commanding my price on a hybrid model, right? If you really look at it, what's the fundamental difference between two tools? So that is the first thing that we need to understand that, right? The first thing about psychometric and DMIT, there are a lot of differences. So the very first difference is, psychometric test is about the acquired domain, right? However, the DMIT test is about the inborn domain. So while you acquire the skills over a period of time through your environment, through your friends, through your parents, through your school, and a lot of other places. But when you talk in terms of a DMIT, it is what you were gifted with. It's just like an innate potential. So primarily, this domain is all about never changing whatever that you got during the time of birth. It's inherited. However, psychometric test is something that you built up. You start earning of your own, right? It's something like that, right? Second is, in psychometric, most relevant for career counseling. If you really want to do the career counseling, it does not have a matter when you were born, what were your multiple intelligence. What is important is, what is your multiple intelligence today. So basis which, if you actually give them the career choices, that would be more relevant than the DMIT one. Though DMIT also gives you 100 plus options, but idea is that, how relevant would that be? Because today's scenario, if you really look at it, that so many things that really changes over a period of time. That's one thing. So it is more relevant. The psychometric test is more relevant to career coaching, but at the same time, DMIT test is more relevant to self-discovery. If you really want to understand the different aspects of it into you, I think it's about the DMIT. Third thing is, cater to this psychometric test will cater to 8 years plus technically, or maybe 10 years plus. 8 years plus is something that it can be done for. But then when you talk about a DMIT test, it can be done from anybody whose fingerprints are formed. And it is like for, anybody like 1 year plus is good enough where you can conduct the DMIT. But that's on theory. I would say practically you should take a 4 years plus child, not less than that. Generally, it's not advisable. More accurate, high psychometric test is more accurate as higher age group. So when the child grows up, psychometric test is able to capture the latest, but when you talk in terms of DMIT, when the child grows of a age, DMIT would be less accurate. It is more accurate when the child is younger, because then it is more about inherited. However, over a period of time, it starts changing. So when you take the DMIT for 60 years old or 40 years old or 35 years old, it may not be as relevant as what it is for 14 years old. So that's another major difference. Then it's question-based test. The psychometric test is a question-based test, but when you talk about a DMIT, it's a fingerprint-based test. So psychometric can be done online, but DMIT cannot be done online. You have to go out to take the fingerprint. No additional tool is required for psychometric. However, when you talk about DMIT test, you require a fingerprint scanner. Normally that costs about 4,500 rupees, 5,000 rupees. Results will change almost every year. In psychometric test, what will happen is changes would continue to keep on happening. But in DMIT test, once it's done, it's done. Like there are no changes because the fingerprint never changed, right? Then you have it best suits the 15-year-old. If you really talk about a psychometric test, that best suits 15-year-old. But DMIT test, it primarily is best for 4 to 14 years. Now, this is something which is my understanding about psychometric test and the DMIT test, right? So this is the basic thing. Now, idea is what's most relevant in each report. Let's understand that. So in psychometric tests, multiple intelligence, because you need to understand the current level of multiple intelligence basis which you can identify the best career options. So multiple intelligence, Rias theory, and career selection has to be picked up from psychometric. So almost the entire report is going to be picked up. But there are a lot of aspects which are not there in psychometric, which is there in DMIT test. DMIT test is very exhaustive, actually. Like, it has got so much into it. It might take, initially it used to take me 2 hours to counsel the people. Anyway, so preferred learning styles is something that you'll come to know. What is in DMIT test, the other things that are important that you can basically pick up from there is preferred learning style. What kind of a learning style do you have, right? Are you an auditory learner, visual learner, kinesthetic learner? Brain dominance, are you a left brain dominant or a right brain dominant? Quotients, your IQ, intelligent quotient, your EQ, emotional quotient, your CQ, your creative quotient, and AQ, adversity quotient. Personality types, your primary personality and the secondary personality. Thought process, what is the kind of a thought process that you have it? Are you an executor or a thinker? It'll help you to understand your type of leadership that you have it. Acquiring method, how do you acquire the information? And then there's a lot of other things that you actually come to know. What's the best extracurricular activity for you? And a lot of things that you come to know about it. It'll tell you about your 5 senses, which is the strongest sense out of the 5 senses that you have it, and many more things, right? Now, when you merge the reports together, so, obviously, like as I said, you can pick up first 3 things from psychometric test and rest of the things from DMIT. So when you do that, and the new model which is born, and that is called the model, I used to call it your brain manual, your brain manual. So I used to combine the things report and used to take the scanning of each page which is relevant, plug them together, create a PDF, and then I used to consult the parents on that. So it used to be some work, but initially it takes a little more time, but then later on it becomes very easy. So these are the aspects that's going to be there in the unique report, which is not there in the market. Nobody's doing it. Okay. So now I would like to understand, are you into the red ocean or are you into the blue ocean? Obviously, you're in the blue ocean. You have a monopoly. You can command your price the way you want it. Charges per report. For example, psychometric test, generally people charge 2,000. DMIT people do charge 4,000, but there are people who do it for 4,000 also, and there are people who are doing it for 3,000 also. That's perfect. But if you really look at it, the average price for DMIT is 5,000, and the average price for psychometric is 2,000. So if you club both the reports, that's going to cost 7,000 rupees. But what you can do is, you can give them the hybrid report to the customer for 4,900 rupees. Now, practical target would be, let's say, if I can consider that there are two kind of a people today. One is full-timers and one is like are into the job and they're the part-timers. So the people who are the full-timers, for them, if they sell one report a day and if they do one counseling a day, they make 5,000 rupees per day, work for 25 days and make 1,25,000, right? Second is the weekenders, weekend entrepreneurs, the people who just do into the weekend. So you can have two reports per week, maybe Saturday, Sunday, you're just doing one report each day. So every month you have 8 reports and you're just making 40,000 rupees per month, right? So this could be like as a part-time or a full-time, whatever. This could be the revenue or a targets that you can keep it for yourself. Now coming to facts about sales. Ultimately, the end of it, like, some people have got that belief system, what the 5,000 report will sell. But my personal experience has been, it does not ever matter whether you're selling 1,000 rupees product or 5,000 or 10,000. The amount of time that it takes to sell that is the same. The energy is the same. Rather, it's more easier to convince the person who can spend more money, and he will be less troublesome for you than the bheed. If you have a lot of people like, into the same thing and with a cheaper product, you will just be providing service and you will not be able to actually like take a breath. You will not be able to, you won't get a break. Important is to have a quality people and, identify those people, target those people who can afford and just give them the value, give them the right value, and that's what it is, right? Generally, in any scenario, you'll find 10 to 20% conversion. So 10% is minimum. If you have the quality or even if the average leads, you're able to convert 10%, right? Okay. Now, having said that, let's understand what is the history of DMIT. Research started about 150 years back in USA when there were kids who were born without the, the brain, the cortex. So the kids who were not having a brain were not even having a fingerprint. So it was realized there's some connection between the brain and the fingerprint. And when this happened, it caught the eye. Definitely the people started and the research started happening. And till date, there are more than 4,000 papers which has been submitted. And the researchers has like the 5 lakh people fingerprints were being like, analyzed, summarized, compared. And finally, there's a meaning that was made out of it. Like, so that larger database was being taken to primarily make a meaning out of it. So when you talk in terms of an evolution of like DMIT, the research started, as I said, long back, 1893, Sir Francis Galton, then Dr. Harold Cummins, who is also considered to be a, he's a father of it, like, father of this science, DMIT. So Dr. Harold Cummins is considered to be the father of it. Then going forward, like, a lot of people came who were researching and who made some mark and made some important contributions. But then in 1983, Dr. Howard Gardner came up with a multiple intelligence theory, which was widely accepted. And that's the theory which, the complete career coaching and career counseling is based on today, right? So that's the way like it started evolving. So what is DMIT? Let's understand what is DMIT, right? Dermatographic is the study of rich skin pattern, also known as dermatographics, which can be found on fingers, palm, toes, soles, and even tongue for that matter. It's 5 places it's being found. But generally, tongue, you can't really use it, right? Toes and soles, you can't use it. Palms are not very friendly to be used. So ultimately, the only thing left is fingerprint patterns, and therefore, like the fingerprints are taken. Fingerprints are considered to be, these are unique. These are the 5 places where these are unique in every human being, okay? Now, through medical researches, it is found that fingerprints are formed during the 13 to 19 prenatal week. The neocortex is developed during the same period as well. So when the child is born, when the child is in mother's womb, at that point of time from 13 to 19th week, both the things develop simultaneously, the fingerprint and the brain. Both the things are simultaneously developing. This is why the brain dedicates the majority of approximately 200 million nerves ending to the hands. Scientists integrated genetics, embryology, dermatographics, and neural sciences with a theory of multiple intelligence. So this was the kind of an integration and research which has happened, where there were 4 sciences, or rather 5 sciences: genetics, embryology, that's about the egg; dermatographic, that is about the skin patterns; neural sciences, we all know; and with the theory of multiple intelligence. There are 8 multiple intelligence that Dr. Howard Gardner has talked about it. So all these things were clubbed together. With that, a person's personality and talents can be analyzed and classified accordingly, because there were 5 lakh fingerprints were being taken at that point of time, and there was statistic comparison, data analysis, recording, everything happened. So that stats is something, with which the study had gone. And as I said, there were 4,000 papers being submitted, and a lot of stuff happened. And finally, this science took birth. Yeah. Okay. Now, there are 4 type of DMIT reports that can be generated. So the very first one is the lifetime report, and that's the major thing. So lifetime report is the something which is a very exhaustive report, and that really helps us as well as the parents as well as the child to understand deeper into it. So in lifetime report, it's a 69-page report, and we shall be, and it talks about multiple intelligence. It talks about Rias theory. That's about the personality type. It talks about career selection. It talks about preferred learning style, brain dominance, quotients, personality type, primary and secondary, thought process, whether the child is executor or a thinker, leadership style, acquiring method, and many more things. So this is what the lifetime report is going to reveal. Second is the HR report. HR report works best for corporates in hiring and interdepartmental transfer. So HR report has got that contribution, but normally not many people in India has been using this report, right? So it's as a feel good factor, you have the software to generate the report, but generally you don't have many clients. If you can sell it to somebody, it's perfectly okay. Third thing is the basic report. Basic report is generally used to oblige somebody or to give it as a demo, right? Or you want to collect the data of a school, and you can just do the basic report for them, and put some people who are just taking a fingerprint. Idea is to collect the data, and on the basis of this 10-page report, that you can actually talk to the parents and can say, this is very basic. We have a advanced report of 69, 70 pages, and that would have loads of things. It's very, very basic. It would just give you an idea, a very basic idea. But if you really want an exhaustive career coaching, then I think that's the thing you should go for. So this is the basic report, right? Then comes in compatibility report. Compatibility report is really cool. Now, this is something, it's a scientific way where the two people are getting married, for that matter, and people get their Janam Patri, matched. I mean, these days it has stopped happening, and there's still people who are doing it, but there are a lot of people who don't even consider that. But yeah, if you really want to, compare yourself, then it's ultimately the end of it. The arguments and everything happen through the brain that we have it, right? So we need to be analyzing how compatible your brains are. So if your brains are compatible, your nature, you need to understand which parts a person, the female, is good and which parts a male is good at. So in that case, what happens is you're able to you are able to understand that on what areas the veto power should be there with the female, and what areas the male should have a veto power. So it's like that. Similarly, if you really talk about the second place that this report is widely used, is the two people who are going to become a partner, and they just want to compare and just see how compatible are they, and which are the areas where they can divide the roles. Again, the same, for the to get into the partnership also, this can happen. Or you're already into the partnership and you want to decide upon the different roles that you're going to play. So this brings in a lot of clarity on a scientific ground. That's the idea of the DMIT compatibility test, right? So these Mindtree's DMIT software will generate all 4 type of reports. Okay. Now, the best part is that you can design and brand your front page. Whatever is the front page that you want to have it, you can just design it on canva.com. Just go and design the thing and just send it across to us, and we will be able to, like, definitely give you the branded software of yours, and with something that you have designed, right? Now, coming to why the parents buy a dermatographic multiple intelligence analysis test. So there are three major reasons, right? I mean, it's a complete exhaustive science, but I don't want to talk about everything. But the three major reasons. The first one is every child is unique, but a method to handle them is common and usual. So there are different domains and multiple domains on which the children are unique. Every child is unique. The way the fingerprints are unique, the way we are unique, we have a uniqueness. So every child is unique, but a method to handle them is the same. In class, the teacher handle the kids in the same fashion, and even as a parent, we handle the kid in the same fashion without realizing. That's first. Number two, every child has an inborn talent, but child and parents fail to identify it. That we're talking about a multiple intelligence. So every child has got that intelligence, multiple intelligence. But since we don't know about it, so we are not able to actually help them nurture it. We just take it normally and coolly. Third thing is every child has a different learning style, but a teaching style is same. And that is most important. Some people are auditory learner, some people are visual learner, and some people are kinesthetic learner. So you have three different type of learners. Learning style is different, but the way we teach them, or even in the school that we teach, is the same. So if a person who is an auditory learner, if you try to teach him in the kinesthetic fashion, he would not learn. Or if somebody is a visual learner, you try to teach him in the kinesthetic fashion, again, he will not learn. So the person who is visual has to learn visually. The person who is an auditory learner will have to learn by sound, by word, by, like tone and temper. And when you talk about the third one, the person who is like a kinesthetic learner will have to do it himself, feel it, and then the person will be able to learn. So unless we know that what is the child or what kind of a learning style that the child possesses, how do we teach him? That's an idea, right? Now coming to, let me show you a glimpses of the DMIT report. What are the kind of a glimpses that we have? Now, this is the DISC theory, and this theory is about there's a DISC profiling. DISC profiling is called dominant. It's like a personality type. Huh? You have a primary personality and the secondary personality. So primary personality in this case is coming out to be dominant, and secondary personality is again dominant. For some people it's say different. So primary personality is like the personality that we have it, at home, and secondary personality is the personality that we have it outside. Now, if you really talk about it, so dominant, first is dominant is eager. Second is influential, that is peacock. Third is compliant, that is owl personality. And fourth is steady, that is a dove personality. So this is something this report will help you to understand. The people who have done the management, they would know the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. This report will help you to do the SWOT analysis for your child. And then multiple intelligence. So we know about the multiple intelligence. We've already learned about the multiple intelligence. But are you aware that there are 19 different type of sub-intelligence also? So not only through this report, you would come to know about the multiple intelligence, but also you would come to know about the 19 sub-intelligence. This is something which is taking you to a deeper levels, right? Brain dominance, whether you're a left brainer or the right brainer. And so important to understand, because if you are able to optimize the both part of the brain, then only you'll get the best result. If you're one brain dominant, definitely you would lack somewhere. So unless we understand whether we are left or right brain dominant just by guesswork, we can't really know. Then comes in sense and thought process. Like, we have 5 senses, so it will talk about which is the strongest sense. For example, in this, listen is coming out to be the highest, isn't it? Then you have your thought process, like visual, auditory, tactical, think, and action. So this person is an action taker, like highest is action. So thought process is like, person is an action taker. You have the ability to plan and execute your goals. That is what it is. Yeah. Then questions, like we have IQ, we have EQ, we have CQ, and we have AQ. IQ, everybody knows, intelligence quotient. CQ, few people know, creative quotient. EQ, also now people know, emotional quotient, right? And then finally the AQ, adversity quotient, like, if the tough time comes, how's that you're going to be reacting? So these things are very important, right? Now comes in learning style. There are three type of learning style: visual learner, kinesthetic learner, and auditory learner. So what is the type of your learning style? What is the percentage? Acquiring method. How are you gonna acquire the information? Self-cognitive, self-learning. Effective method is something where you're able to copy somebody. Reverse method is if somebody will ask you to go to Mumbai, you'll first go to Kolkata and then go to Mumbai. So it's like completely opposite direction, right? And reflective method is like very easygoing type, or I would rather bluntly say lazy guy. The person who has that kind of acquiring method, like you have to push him to acquire them on level of information. Otherwise, not interested into the information, right? So you come to know about that. Then extracurricular activity. While you talk about an extracurricular activity, there's so many of them, like dance, instrument, singing, acting, swimming, horse riding, chess, snooker, foreign languages, and painting, and many more, right? So we have so many things, but we are generally confused during the summer vacation what to learn, what to acquire. So it will help you to understand that if you go into this, you'll be able to perform better. So at least one or two things you can try it out, which has got the highest scoring. So that's the importance. Rather than burning money and trying many things, if you are aware of it, that this is something that you can be better in, you can at least try your hands on that, right? Finally, it comes to the stream selection and career. Like stream selection is like you have science, commerce, and mathematics. You have science, commerce, and arts. So this report will help you to understand which is the best stream for you. And also it will give you a career options, like, the 2-star, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. 5-star are definitely the best. 4 are good too. So if you have 4-star and 3-star, so it will give you almost about 100 plus career options. It will tell you the star rating that you have it. So basis which it can guide you about the career as well. And it's a complete 69 page. I've just taken the glimpse of these synopsis of these report. And at last, you get the 1-page synopsis, and this will 1-page summary. So this is the way, like, in the last page is all about 1-page summary, where this is primarily for the counselors. And this page, in a nutshell, you don't have to really go through the entire report. Initially you will, but then gradually you will just look at this page, you'll understand the things, and you'll be able to pick up the counseling immediately. You don't really have to wait for anything, right? So because this page gives you every information that you would require to counsel the child or a parent. So then there's a counselor's remarks that comes in, right? Because now this can be done even physically, for that matter, and this can be done either on the Zoom platform also. So maybe fingerprint can be collected physically, and then on Zoom you can counsel the parents. That's the way it works. Okay. Now our trained DMIT counselors further has empowered 5,000 students. In fact, I used to sell this to the people initially. I mean, like 3.5 years back, we used to give this as a part of a package. But then, during the COVID, we stopped doing that, and we thought that people would be interested to do the online education center, and therefore, like, that has worked pretty well. But then if you add this into your kitty, that will also do some great job for the students and also for you. Like, this is going to help. Do you find the product interesting? If you find the product interesting, now's the time. It's your turn. You can add this product into your kitty with your own brand name, 4 reports that you can get it. What is that your business kit will contain? So DMIT report generation software will have 4 different reports: lifetime report, HR report, compatibility, and basic report. I'm sharing into the chat window the link right now. You can just click the link and download all the reports so that you have an idea the type of reports which are there. DMIT scanning software, you'll get it. DMIT rich counter software will get it. Training dashboard with lifetime access, you'll get it. Support on WhatsApp and Zoom as required, as and when. That is definitely there, right? What it doesn't include is, it doesn't include biometric scanner. which generally costs 4,500, 5,000 rupees. So that is something you'll have to buy it for once, and like it's just a one-time buy. It is not an ARC software. There are two types of software. One is like ARC and one is non-ARC. 3 to 4% of the people whose fingerprints are not, supporting the report system. So what happens is their reports cannot be generated if they have got certain type of fingerprint in multiple fingers. That's called ARC technically. So what the people did it, they just, played with the algorithm to overcome that problem. So, but the original structure is without the ARC. So I have that report, and that is the only thing that I offer to the people. I have opportunity to have the ARC software also, but somehow when I compared myself the reports, I was not too satisfied. So I decided to pursue with this only. DMIT has some negative reviews as well in Google. So Google, if you really talk about it, everything has got positive and negative reviews. But for DMIT, there are like 2-3 reviews which are there, which are negative. 90% reviews are positive, but then 2-3 people like Hindu, like Telegraph have written something. But at the same time, it is mentioned that it is just the opinion. So opinions are freely available in India. To my mind, the people who go for claims and certifications and authenticity and all this stuff, I only know one thing, for me, because I've done it personally, it is a very authentic product and it does wonder. When the people who are very interested in certification, then it's a wrong window because there's no certifying authority in that. If there's no certifying authority, so all these certificates, A giving a certificate to B and B giving certificate to C would not matter. What I want you to do is don't sell DMIT, inspire people to buy Brain Manual. That is the merge software. You have to create your own space, right? What you can also do is you can do a one-day workshop. And today, since the market is open, I would suggest what you can do is one-day workshop, and one-day workshop, host one-day live workshop every week. One-day live workshop with every week, just have 10 students in every workshop. Teach study skills, wheel of life, mind mapping, memory technique, kho, kabaddi, dog in the bone. Have a lively environment. Have a complete day program where good food is given and the kids come at about 9:30. They have a morning snacks, and then finally games are happening, learning is happening, fun is happening. They have lunch, and then thereafter, the music is played, everybody's dancing. They're learning memory technique, they're learning speed reading technique, and you have a team of 2-3 people, and one person collects the fingerprint also, and the other person is taking a training. So you don't really have to go to people's place to collect the fingerprint. So one-day workshop, you teach all that stuff, you do the DMIT also, take the fingerprint. Later on, you generate the report and do the counseling over the Zoom platform, and charge 5,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees में 1,000 rupees will be an expense. 4,000 rupees you make it. 10 kids, 40,000 rupees profit every week. If you can do that, that's great, isn't it? And to get 10 kids every week for 5,000 rupees is not a challenge, right? Wherever you generate inquiry from, be it FB or be it even references, I think it works pretty well. So generally the price for this is 25,000 rupees, but the special webinar price is not 25,000 rupees, be 12,375. So primarily, I'm going to give you this product for 12,375 all inclusive. Otherwise, let me tell you, if you really check it out, Google it out, you'll realize that these products are generally available for 25,000 to 50,000 rupees, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a complete DMIT thing for 12,375 rupees. So I'm going to offer you this special price of 12,375 rupees, where I'm going to give you all the 4 reports and the entire business kit. So how to book? You just have to click the link that I've shared, and there will be information that will have to fill in your name, email ID, and telephone number. The moment you put in that detail, it will take you to this window and it will ask for a discount code. Put is action takers, that is ACTTKR. This is the discount code you have to put it. The moment you put that and say apply, the moment you apply that, it will take you to another window and it will give you the desired discount. And it will take you to this window, which will show 12,375. Now the idea is you can either scan it and just you can scan it and pay. That's a simple way. Second way could be you have credit card option, debit card option, net banking, EMI, and NEFT bank transfer. So whichever way you want to pay, you can do that. Also, if you choose to go by the EMI option, it is only on the select credit card. If you have a ICICI, Axis Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, HSBC Bank, Yes Bank, Indus Bank, RBL Bank, or Bank of Baroda, if you have the credit card for either of these banks, then this makes a better sense for you. You have 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months EMI normally. If somebody would like to pay through Paytm, Google Pay, or Phone Pay, and they can actually pay directly onto my WhatsApp number. That's 9599224417. So you can pay on that also. But I would suggest you try to pay directly, because if you pay on that particular link, you'll get the kit instantly, because it's an automated process, right? On making payment instantly in your mail, you will receive a payment receipt from Instamozo, and at the same time the mail from us. So you'll have to check your primary spam or promotion mail. Generally it lands up in the spam mail. So in 2 hours time the dashboard will be activated and you will get your DMIT software, right? So this time I would like to congratulate the people who have bought it, and I'm sure like you can become a premium counselor now. You just need to learn a bit of it, work a little hard on that, and once you're able to do it, rather than running after the client for 2,000 rupees, now you can actually command 5 to 6,000 rupees. Maybe conduct 1-day workshop, or you can do a counseling. A hybrid counseling is completely your choice. But I think that's the way I've shown you. You can start making money like this as well. Yeah. And so today's offer, as I said, is 12,375 all-inclusive price. Post webinar, it's going to be 25,000 rupees. If you want to book, you can book it right now, and you will get the complete material by tomorrow afternoon 2 p.m. So the people who are able to understand and able to relate, and who feel that this is something that they want to add up into the kitty right now, this is the golden relaunch offer, and just grab it, because more value to the client is happy. And other than that, when you're conducting an online education center, for that matter, for the people, when you're conducting that program, maybe 1-day program that you're conducting, and when you say you're doing DMIT, people generally know that 5,000 will be the cost of a DMIT. In that 5,000 rupees cost, you're giving them the 1-day workshop also, and this also, that makes a lot of sense for them, right? So this is what it is. So if you have any kind of a queries, you can ask me now, and I would be more than delighted to answer each query of yours, so that you take a learned decision. It's one additional product that comes to you, and this comes with a lot of power, a lot of value, and this can really give your business a push.